see what happens. To the bottom left, our red Zerg player. This is Guru. And to the top right-hand side, our pink Zerg from Gamer's Origin. Stephano taking down Showtime on his way here today. And Cass. Stephano's had some pretty intense games today. We've been following Stephano's last couple of matches. They've been really fun games to cast, so it's been a fun one to follow. Let's see if he'll give us a fun grand finals as well, as we set up here on Blackpink. Definitely recommend subscribing, says Lucidity Dark. I did, and I managed to beat a Protoss on the ladder the very same day. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it? Protoss is just so powerful, and yet one simple subscription changes everything. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I know, guys. What is up as well? If you're in the chat and just tuning in for this final, let me know how you're all doing. Let me know who you're cheering on. Let me know who you're supporting as we kick off into Stephano versus Guru. Hatch Gas Pool appears to get us started here on Blackpink. A build order which is the go-to for Zerg. It's the build which gets you the hatchery at the earliest reasonable time without slowing down drones. It gets you the Ling speed up. It's a very simple and easy way to move in towards a mid-game focused playstyle. A couple of drones coming up as well, as we do see Overlords are starting to come across the map from Stephano, and Overlord coming down through the center over here, and that's going to be seeing another couple of Overlords from Guru as well, just moving on in towards the upper right hand side. And obviously early game, it's all about in ZvZ getting your Overlords spread out, getting yourself the information as to what is coming on, or what is coming in. And generally at this stage, as both players will probably start Ling speed, we will head into a Ling Bane phase of the game. Blackpink is one of the maps where you can go for like a Roach Evo kind of less setup and cancel your Ling speed or not get it at all. But in general, you want to go in towards the Ling Bane, get the third hatchery up, and just kind of play from there. You get a very fast third hatch usually, around 25-ish workers, and you then make a kind of swell of Lings to start defending that, while also being a bit aggressive, and that's what is the kind of, it's what makes up the Ling Bane phase of the game. Guru already throwing that third hatchery down for just as an example for us here, and there it is from Stephano as well. And so the next stage of this should be a Banelin Nest, unless one player tries to play a bit greedier than the other. Bypassing the Banelin Nest is one way to save yourself some money, and it's one way to just set yourself up nicely in towards, a stronger follow-up if you can survive the Ling Bane aggression of your opponent. So it's going to be seeing a few Zerglings of Guru coming in, and a couple of the Lings of Stephano are going to be backing away here, again just initially nibbling around on that hatchery. So a little bit of damage being done, as we do see Queen just going to throw down a creep tumor. Now by throwing down a creep tumor, he's just going to start spreading out towards the third base. It begins to connect these bases together, and by connecting those bases together, we're going to be seeing him a little bit more easily able to kind of bring queens across, reposition queens if required. So as Guru goes for that swell of Zerglings we were talking about, Stephano's actually taking the hit and kind of dove up towards 30 drones. So Stephano making a lot of workers here, and if he doesn't defend here well, he might actually be punished for that. His Banes are finishing up though, and they go a long way generally. At the very least, they buy a lot of time where the Lings have to dodge and dive rather than just going straight in towards a fight. And Stephano's controlling this very well. He's actually going to hold on to this with ease. He might lose the Queen. He gets the inject though nice and quickly, which is something. Well, only a couple of Banes left, although a couple more Banes up this ramp as well. It looks as though this is a complete cleanup. Stephano defends with a 6-worker lead. That little bit of a gamble he took was then, played off for him because he had superior micro in this fight, and with the better control of his units, he's now taken one heck of a lead in game number 1, honestly. I'm going to say hello to FruityBooty666 in the chat, who's new in the chat. Hello to you. I love the name Fruity Booty. It's satisfactory to say, it's a fun name to say. It's like Fruity Booty. That would be like epic, like BlizzCon Grand Finals. It's like, and in the top left corner we have Fruity Booty. The crowd goes wild. The Fruity Booty signs go up in the crowd. Oh man, it'd be intense. Anyways, Rotron jumps down from Stephano, so he does begin his transition. Now we did see Guru, because he was the aggressor, didn't start up the Banelin Nest, which makes his aggression less likely to succeed, as we saw. And it makes counterattacks a little bit more, him a little bit more vulnerable to counterattacks. Because Stephano was a bit greedier with the drone count, counterattacks were not really a thing, so Guru got away with skipping the Bane Nest, but now he's still going into it, so he's still going to build it here, and I wonder how much he commits to Ling Bane, because Stephano, with a roach drone ready, starts to build his roaches, and once he gets 6 to 10 roaches and they start clumping up together, the Lings will start to trade so much worse against them. There's not really going to be much you can do. And so Stephano's getting to this very comfortable position now where maybe even moving across the map could become a possibility for him to really kind of look to get some damage done if he feels like he's got that much of an advantage. Difficult for him to identify that, but as observers we can see there's no gas in the bank for Guru. So as his Rotron finishes, he won't have the money for roaches. And without the gas for roaches, Stephano's going to have the roach advantage with the ability to maybe, again, make use of that here. As you're going to see him just trade now some Banes for Banes. At the moment, that's kind of okay, because again, Stephano has the roaches to come in with, and with the roaches, he should start taking some very good fights. Now, Guru will dart around the bottom right-hand side of the map instead. He's going to come up in towards the third base and maybe go for a full surround. And if he gets that surround, that third base might die. But Stephano's so far across the map, surely there's no way he pulls back home. No, Stephano. Can he hold on for long enough to kind of justify pulling back home? Well, the Banes are coming in. Okay, he actually does manage to hold on. In that case, pulling home isn't the end of the world. Stephano will just maintain a lead, but could he have done something if he kept pushing in over here? Maybe. It's hard to say for sure, right? But I definitely think there's a good chance of him getting something done without roaches being out initially. Stephano doesn't want to take the risk. Again, we have, superior information. We have all the information. We know the roach run wasn't finished yet. We knew roaches weren't on the way out. Stephano didn't. So Stephano did the safer thing, pulled back, and honestly, still keeps himself in the lead. The Banes coming in were absolutely vital to be able to save himself from those Lings of his opponent. And then the roaches got there, the Lings got pushed away, and we got into that little bit of a nicer position as we see the lair just now on the way up from Guru. Is there a lair from Stephano? There is, but no roach speed, right? Okay, as I put the production tab back on, he's just started it. So, roach speed coming in, an important upgrade to be aggressive with the roaches, because obviously it allows you to get across the map much faster. It helps you to kind of back away or reposition yourself in fights a lot more easily as well. We're going to be seeing these roaches and Lings coming back down to the south side, and well, Queen here going to be able to tap its way through this Overlord over the next couple of moments, so Overlord will be going down. Goodbye, Mr. Overlord. Goodbye, my friend. Okay, so Overlord is taken down. With that gone, it's just another little issue for Guru. Another Overlord he has to rebuild, and that shouldn't really happen, honestly. As you can see, the roach count from Stephano is insane. If Stephano attacks with roach speed and +1, he might just straight up win the game, because he's going to be hitting with a +1 advantage by quite a few seconds. So having that upgrade can definitely swing the kind of the flavor of battle. But not only that, if he can go across the map right, with that roach speed too, and there's no roach speed from Guru, it's very low risk. The biggest risk there is some sort of a run-by coming in, and in fairness, there's a fairly high potential of that at the moment, because Guru is on the map with these Zerglings. But in general, because he has roach speed and Guru doesn't, Stephano can back away from fights very easily if the roach numbers of Guru are just a little bit too high. So that's one thing that makes it nicer for him to potentially get aggressive, but at the same time, again, does he know he's ahead on roach speed? It's a very difficult game to judge. Ling Bane wars in towards a macro-focused playstyle. It's very difficult to know exactly where you and your opponent are at, because there's a lot of little different things that could happen to swing, time-ins in your favor or your opponent's favor. You're always going to be seeing a couple of Ravages morphing in from Stephano, as we see a lot of Zerglings of Guru also coming out in towards the center of the map. And, a Roach here is just going to be running on by. Bane lanes, oh my god! The Zerglings just run into all of the Bane lanes, and as the Bane lanes get the job done, suddenly Stephano realizes, okay, cool, well, no risk of me pushing across the map anymore. And he doesn't have an upgrade lead any further. But look at this, he draws an opponent out to the right-hand side. He never really looked to kind of commit into that fight. He was always kiting away. It allows roaches to hit in towards the third base. And multi-pronged aggression so far from Stephano is fantastic. He isn't in a good concave here, so he has to back away from this fight. And there is actually units coming in over there, but no detection. The burrow play is starting to come through, and he is going to have tunneling claws in a moment, which allows the roaches to move while they're burrowed. And once they're able to, once they're able to kind of move those roaches around a little bit more, while burrowed, it becomes very difficult for Guru to keep on top of this. Those roaches are starting to move. There's the Overseer. Stephano might just want to pop up now and try and target down the Ravages. Would not be a bad trade just to target the Ravages. For some reason, Guru gave up this position here, and he knew the roaches were still nearby. Stephano pops up once again, continue to fight this out, and he will look for this fourth base kill, and it looks like he'll get it. Stephano in the next couple of minutes will be taking a +2 upgrade lead for a little while. He already has a +1 Carapace lead now again. As you do see the roaches from Stephano somehow back over here. I don't know how these roaches are all over the place. They're so difficult to keep track of. It's so crazy to make sure you're kind of always cleaning them up and always finishing them off before you actually kind of try and do something else as Guru. And he is making a couple of mistakes here and there. As we are just going to be seeing the roaches continue to gather together, and we're going to be seeing the +1 carapace, the +2 missiles on the way from Guru. Those upgrades are coming in, but +2 missiles are about to kick in from Stephano. If he can force a larger fight right now, maybe that's going to work out for him, although behind an army supply, maybe Guru has some possibilities of holding on. The roaches and the ravages are going to be, well, going to need to be a little bit careful here. Some roaches will burrow and back away slightly. Relocate, it seems. This overlord gets sniped down. With the lack of vision, Guru doesn't know exactly where he maybe should be. Those roaches get found by the overseer. They'll lift up, they'll move away, but already the main army of Stephano is to the left-hand side. He's going to outnumber the forces of Guru over here for a moment or two, so he can definitely get himself in a good position. Let's see if he can make this work. Guru's going to try and trap these units in, stop them from getting out. Stephano realizes it's happening. Defensive corrosive vials for him to back away with. Now he'll try and retake the fight with more reinforcements coming in. Remember, he's got the upgrade lead here in play. It doesn't seem to be enough for him to really commit in. I'm just going to be seeing a few roaches try and peel to the side again, but not quite happening. As you are going to be seeing the little bit of roach ravages still moving around. Roaches in the main base. This is where it gets very frustrating. You can see actually in the income tab or the worker count, 30 workers against 60. Stephano's double the worker count. All he has to do is hold off a counterattack here, and he's going to be absolutely miles ahead. The holding off a counterattack is more easily said than done. He is trailing quite a bit on army supply. Problem is, with the roaches, he can buy himself an eternity to just kind of sit here and to keep Guru on his own side of the map. So Stephano playing this very well so far. Those corrosive bows connect. That overlord gets taken down. And these roaches of Stephano coming over to the right, and they are going to work their way through this extractor. A few roaches of Guru going to be working their way through another couple of roaches as well. Overlord back up the left. A lot of Roach Ravager coming down to the south side of the map, going to get ready to try and push in towards the fourth base. A fourth base which Stephano has had up and mining on his own side of the map without any issue at all for so long. Roaches and Ravagers back to the left. I didn't like the idea that Stephano's keeping on teching up as well. He built a hive so he gets +3 missile attack upgrade. He's got himself a few Hydras on the way out. Does he have a Lurker Den already? Did I miss that coming up? No Lurker Den. So that would be something which really would improve the composition. But Hydras will do the job as well. I like the later game Hydra switch. Early in the game, switching to Hydras is very dangerous because your opponent will overwhelm you if you're on a low number of Hydras and he just has pure Roach production. But at this stage, when Stephano has the bank to build up the Hydra count, I like it a lot more. However, Stephano needs to win this fight to the top side because he's losing this fight to the south very badly because he also has a lot of Roaches across the map. He's down heavily in army supply going up against this here, and maybe he should have had a couple of Spine Crawls already prepared to help him out because he really does just have to defend and he'd be fine. Especially if he's got Roaches across the map continuing to deal damage. Stephano, I guess one of the differences is he's still mining to some degree here, and that means he's still getting more reinforcements out over time. Even, while on the other side of the map, Guru's never going to get the units out to actually clean up this attack. So Guru's going to end up losing everything. And Guru has to run up a ramp to finally take the final fight as well, which is going to hurt. Corrosive Vials are connecting. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of Roaches here from Stephano. It means the Ravagers and Hydras more vulnerable, fragile units, no arm attacks. They take more damage than the Roaches do. They're going to be in the front lines. They go down so quickly. Stephano finds himself the army supply lead that he's been looking for a while, but a lot of his Roaches still across the map. Guru's just going to leave the game. He doesn't think he can break up the ramp at all. Fast pool. You can go gas pool, 1312. That's something Stephano did the other day during WCS Challenge, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, as we have to the top left-hand side, the Red Zerg player, Guru. He's up against the Pink Zerg to the bottom right-hand side, Stephano, leading the series currently 1-0. Alright then. Hatch and a drone from Stephano starts up, and I'm going to be seeing the hatchery first from Guru, so that kind of answers our question as to will we see super early aggression? The answer to that is no, we will not see super early aggression. You can still see some kind of attacks kind of coming in from here, like what we saw from Guru last time with a lot of the Lings flooding towards Stephano's base. But again, Stephano held that off well, so will Guru try the same thing twice? I don't think he will. I think he'll change it up a little bit. Maybe Stephano gets more aggressive this time. We'll see here kind of soon. Lord flies over that little bit of a water thingy. Makes a bit of a watery sound. I really didn't realize that forever on Asset Plan that this thing makes like a bunch of water sounds when things are over it. I just one day I was like, what? I wonder if I had it turned off in a setting or something. That's kind of weird. Anyways, a couple of drones coming in. Mining away. And we are just going to be just seeing again a couple of Lings kind of out on the map, a couple of Queens on the way for both players, Ling speed on the way up. I'm just getting ready to really kind of see where this game heads towards. Now we are going to see this time Stephano takes a slightly faster third hatchery compared to Guru taking it last game. I wonder if Guru is going to take a third hatchery. I mean, Baneling Nest could start soon for him if he wants to go Baneling Nest then hatch, but I mean, Stephano's Baneling Nest is coming down anyway, so I'm more wondering if this is going to be a Roachron and Evo Chamber, cancel the Ling speed, and go in towards like a faster lair and an upgrade, and play the Roaches right away. I don't think it should be, because he should know that Stephano isn't necessarily skipping anything himself, so it would be a very risky play. But I just want to know what he's waiting for. Why is he not making his own third hatchery? I guess there's the start of our answer. 16 Lings on the way up. Stephano's scouting the main. We'll see what's going on. So I think Stephano has to just assume aggression, which means that when this Bane Nest finishes, he should just get a couple of defensive Banes morphing in almost immediately. There is the Roachron from Guru, but he lets Ling speed finish, so he's going to go kind of Lings into Roaches and maybe just a big Ling Roach attack as a follow-up to this. Much later third hatchery here for him, so again, that's the most interesting part of this for me, that he does take a third hatch just so late. A couple of Banes start to finish up, and as they move forwards, obviously Stephano's looking to keep his third hatchery alive. And the Banelings are just so powerful in this scenario. And Stephano, this time he isn't 7, 8, 9 workers ahead, so he is going to have much better numbers in terms of being able to defend, and so it becomes a lot more simpler than last time around, where last time he really did scramble with every single Baneling connection to make sure he held it off. This time you can see it's very comfortable to the point where Guru doesn't even take the fights, he just backs away. Now Roachron is done and Guru starts up some Roach production. Maybe a little bit afraid of the potential counterattacks here from Stephano, though for the moment he isn't moving forwards or doing anything of the sort. All of those things coming back in towards the natural, and just going to be seeing the lair. Currently on the way up in the main base, we're going to be seeing Stephano. He's going to make his move around the map a little bit with some of his own Zerglings. His own Roachron's coming through, he has gas ready to build, he's got the Evo Chamber down. Stephano on the later lair, so later Roach speed, although maybe not necessary just yet if he gets the lair going for the next 100 gas. It should actually time out pretty okay. Another creep team on the way up, and we are just going to be seeing some Lings and Roaches from Guru coming in. We're going to see Stephano from the left-hand side, going to try and move forwards as well. I mean, the Banes going to get a couple connections on a few of the Zerglings. Generally, against these low number of Roaches, you have a pretty good time with, you know, a decent amount of Lings, but I think Stephano was just missing out the actual kind of critical number. He was just a few Lings away from actually kind of cleaning up those first couple of Roaches, and then suddenly things can get out of control. You win that first fight convincingly, you pick off the next Roach or two that pop out when one pops here, one pops over there, you get full surrounds. It just didn't quite snowball into that sort of effect there. He didn't quite have enough Lings. Just because he didn't have a lot of Lings initially anyways compared to Guru's number of Lings, and he didn't really make many more because he has been taken up in towards Roaches. Stephano has a much faster +1 attack upgrade. Even though his Roach speed will be a lot later, there is some potential for him to maybe get something done with that here. As we get this set to go, these things coming up, and let's see Roaches and the Queen able to push those Zerglings away through the top side. Yeah, nice little run by from Stephano, while the Queens and Roaches will generally clean this up without too much of an issue. He starts to get a couple of drone kills. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3. No, I mean, it's nice kills. I counted wrong, it was 2. This one jumped into an extractor rather than dying, but well, I mean, 2 worker kills, a little bit of scout and information into the main base, keeps the Roaches pinned back a little bit while he gets his own Roach count rolling here. And Stephano just continues to gather his units together. He'll go straight into +2. There's definitely no way Stephano commits to an attack right now without the roach speed. So he should just go straight into +2. Guru definitely could hit with +1 if he wants to. But he started +1 carapace, which means that by investing some money into the upgrade here, and especially into the Hydra Den, instead of throwing everything into roaches, you're just not going to have as strong of an attack against someone who's just building roaches. So it makes a lot more sense for Guru just to sort of sit back rather than potentially getting aggressive. Overseer going to take another couple of shots as the queens come through and just going to be continue to poke around, deal some damage here and there. We're going to be seeing the carapace upgrade as well from Guru currently on the way up also. A couple more roaches just coming in over the left hand side, and these roaches Stephano also just setting up to see. I mean, he's just gathering a lot of roaches up. 65 workers, pure unit production. I mean, if he hits with +2, the power of that army is going to be really there. We see Guru going into the Hydra's count, and that's something I talked about last game. It's something I didn't really like to see. As we are going to be having the roaches running up this right-hand side, and those roaches from Guru are already getting a little bit trapped here at the moment, honestly. So those roaches getting a little bit trapped. Roaches of Stephano run on in, they will be able to just hunt on down a lot of those roaches. Look at that. Roach after roach after roach getting picked away at here. And Guru going to back away up to the higher ground. I'm just going to hold that position for the moment. Well, a few roaches pull around the right-hand side. They don't really find an entrance point just yet, though. There's units already in position here from Guru. The roaches now do get a bit of a better concave coming up, and while Stephano doesn't have an upgrade lead just yet, and there's Hydras behind these roaches, Queen's transfusing as well. Does Stephano have enough pure army supply just to push through this with the roaches? Once he gets through this roach wall, he'll gain access to the Hydras, and the Hydra will start to drop very quickly. His +2 is still just about 20 seconds away. Stephano's turned away. He attacked way too soon here. He had no advantage to play with, and he was just attacking into someone who was making Hydras, who was setting up more roaches, somebody who really just didn't have any disadvantage in that fight. Stephano, being the aggressor, is naturally at a disadvantage because he's the aggressor. Reinforcements come in much more quickly from Guru. He has queens there to defend. Very good defense by Guru here in game 2. Getting Groove spined up as he continues with the Hydras in his composition. Imagine Stephano attacked now with a massive roaches. He has +2 finished and a big upgrade lead because there's a huge timing window until Guru hits his own +2. Imagine now the difference here, because if he breaks through that front line of roaches faster, the Hydras start being attacked, they fall very quickly, then it landslides into a Stephano advantage. So I think Stephano blew his lead a little bit now, and now he's actually in this position where he's pure roach against roach Hydra. He's messed up to the point where he's allowed Guru to get away with building Hydras, and that's going to really suck for him, because now he has to fight against this much better army composition with a much worse army composition without much to really work with himself. Now, the initial split-ups here for Stephano are pretty good. He's dealing with these armies pretty well so far. I feel like there's a lot of the army which is just sort of sat back and not really doing enough at all from Guru. Now, Stephano's going to lose this fight to the left-hand side, though. He pulled a little bit too much to the right, although he is going to overwhelmingly win this fight over here. Continues to chase with a few units. Reinforcements, I guess, are starting to clean up these units over here, so actually Stephano will hold on. Again, that's also the power of the +2 attack. Those roaches just getting so much done with every single shot. Couple of units left over. He doesn't want to lose too many drones, though, obviously. The top side, he's just about going to win this fight as well. And Stephano will push all of this back. Army supplies will come out even. Lurker Den all the way up, though, and that's something that's going to be extremely difficult for Stephano to kind of defend against, really. I mean, how do you play against Lurkers with a pure roach army? You don't even have that much gas for Ravagers to corrosive bile the Lurkers when they're in lower numbers. I think the best way would just be to try and stop your opponent from ever getting up into the Lurkers. How do you do that at this moment in time? Well, you just keep on taking the fights where you're forcing the roaches to rebuild. You don't give them the time to morph into Lurkers, which is like 20 seconds of build time. Takes a little while. Does take a little while. Well, you see this Overlord here is going to get taken down. The Queen's targeted nice and quickly. A couple of roaches at the side going to try and grab a Queen, but Stephano's entire army is more or less here. And Stephano maxed out again. Maybe now's the time for him to get ready to push once more. Oh, this could be a really good fight if he pushes up in towards that army. He doesn't realize it's only half of the army. And if he pushed up here, he could have cancelled the first couple of Lurkers, and that would have been so important, I think. Now, he's going to let the Lurkers come into position, and now he really can't push up this ramp at all. So now he really does have to just sit back and not really do too much else. Roaches and Hydras continue to pull back in towards the center, and we do see the Roaches and Ravagers Obviously, Stephano going to start fighting again. A couple of corrosive bars. Not quite connecting just yet. More bars continue to drop down into place. Roaches and Hydras continuing to be chased away at the moment. So, I mean, Stephano's holding on, but what's he holding on for? Now he starts Tunnel and Close. Now he starts Burrow. It definitely seems to be his favorite way to play just in general today. He's been using it to great effect. But he has to be able to fight against Lurkers, and he can see with the attempt to run up this ramp, that doesn't happen at the moment. He doesn't have anything to fight against Lurkers. Those Biles in that position is nice. Now he also has to peel away some units to deal with this counterattack, but there's his own counterattack, so he is going to start getting something done. Forces Guru to pull back home. Oh, well, that's definitely something, but he needs to at least kill a few of these Hydras to make up for a few losses which happened over here. So he lost more drones than Guru lost, and this kind of exchange of kind of run-bys. Another few Hydras to the left-hand side. We do see an Overlord just getting picked off. Stephano is sitting 10 workers behind as well, by the way, so over time, his bank is definitely a little bit worse off here. He's been trading worse as well. I guess that's just because both players are rebuilding drones right now. Maybe it's a bit more stable than they're suggesting. It's been pretty back and forth, actually. Look at that army supply. Look at this moment where Stephano's so far ahead and he just attacks into a defensive position way too soon. Drops so much of his advantage that he had. Obviously, there's more to the game than army supply. There's quality of army as well. And the issue is coming out of that army supply advantage. Stephano had an advantage, then he dropped down. And he had the same army size. But again, the quality of the armies since then has just been so much better for Guru. And that's why he's been in the advantage pretty convincingly. Then those Lurkers holding the exact same position as we've seen for the last few moments. Roaches into the main base and nothing to deal with it just yet from Stephano. Has to get something over there. Although I have to say, the last few fights, he's been dealing with a lot of units very well. Hydras run into corrosive bars. Hydras are so flimsy, man. They go down so quick. Guru has to be a bit more careful with them. Somehow Stephano only lost 4 workers to this little run-by as well. Kind of crazy as you see these roaches going to burrow forwards up the left side. No detection here, so he can get past the spine crawlers. And gets past the spines in towards the natural. The Overseer is going to catch the tail end of it, though. So now Stephano has to lift up, and Queen straight away is going to be stopping transfusions, but look how many more units show up. Stephano still can't quite find a way to fight those Lurkers unless he unburrows on top of them. Yes, I like that idea, and I think he's realizing, Guru, what's going on. His Lurkers unburrow, but they burrow just in time to pull away. Actually, very nicely done, because now he gets back up to the high ground. Stephano will just burrow a few roaches around the right-hand side instead. A couple of spores on the way up to start detecting these roaches in other locations, it seems. It's somewhat of a necessity at the moment, as these roaches are about to pop, and Stephano is going to get some more damage done here once again. 4 workers going down, and well, a couple of spines and roaches. They're going to be pretty much the end of this here, as we actually going to be seeing Stephano trapped in. So that didn't go well, but a lot of the army to the right-hand side means maybe he gets some progress done to the left. He breaks through these rocks, he pushes up this base, and well, that 4th base might go down. Without a 4th base, Guru is definitely at a disadvantage. The Lurkers coming into position, the initial corrosive bars coming down will get rid of one of the Lurkers. Now the Lurkers that are remaining aren't actually far enough forward to really hit a decisive number of roaches, so their splash damage isn't really going to do enough. Mostly the Hydras here just aren't going to have a great time. Even if this base goes down, Stephano has to realize that there's probably some sort of a counterattack going on right now. He's got a lot of money at home, so he's going to be able to rebuild. He will lose a base. He pushes in towards these Lurkers. He'll start to clean them up much faster now, but he still takes a lot of losses in the process. But now he's going to absolutely destroy these Hydras. Drones going to go down on each side of the map. Stephano will decide to pull home to try and clean this up with reinforcements. If he can clean up I'm just so afraid that Guru is basically building like pure Hydra back at home. It's kind of insane. Stephano does have the numbers to win this fight on the top side. On the south side, maybe just needs to buy some time. You can see that Guru realizes he needs to take the fight with everything, or even just back away. Stephano comes out of this 12 workers down. Guru is going to be in the slight army supply lead. Hive tech from Stephano. Is it even worth just cancelling the hive? Just going in towards the more kind of natural, kind of just more units sort of scenario. Is this game going to last long enough for hive tech to have like some sort of impact? I guess he wants the hive, because 2 or 3 Vipers to abduct Lurkers would be an amazing way to shut down what is inevitably going to be more Lurkers here from Guru. There's no way he's not going to rebuild them. So there are 2 Vipers on the way in the production. With 2 Vipers on the way up, he's going to be able to abduct Lurkers. And even if he can just abduct 4 Lurkers into his own army, that could be the turning point of a fight to take away that very defensive setup. And we're just going to be seeing the Overlord just overhead, and we are going to be seeing a 4th hatch Just going down to the left side. This is crazy. Just a couple of drones left here on this main base mineral line. Couple more spines on the way up. Aspire into the main base as well, and it's a nice little switch from Guru. If he can get up some mutalisks, look how much gas he has. If he just suddenly makes a whole ton of meters here, he's gonna have a pretty great time. Roaches and Ravagers continue to gather together. I mean, Stephano was just sat back defending, retaking his expansion, but now he's got the Vipers. I think he has to go. Obviously, as an observer, we know there's, a Spire on the way up, so we know Stephano's in trouble if he doesn't go soon. But really, like, if he doesn't go soon, what's he waiting for anyways? It's not like he's really improving his gameplay. I mean, he's getting +3 missile attacks, which is nice, but god, you're gonna give Guru so much time to just do whatever he wants in the meantime. In the meanwhile, that's gonna suck. Another Viper on the way up in the main base. One of the two of these moments of this game where things are just going to slow down after so much action. We just wait for the players to kind of stabilize and to think about how they want to go into the next little stage of this. Roaches and Ravagers come over, picking off a changeling. Don't want your opponent to kind of get too much information. Corrosive Bars actually going to hit that Overlord, aren't they? Nicely done. Corrosive Bars from Stephano today on point. He hit some Medivacs for the 4s earlier. If you missed that, that was a magical moment with him against Cass. That was a pretty nice catch on that Overlord there as well. There's another Overlord to the left-hand side. +3 missile attack is on the way now, so it is going to be coming up in a moment or two. Stephano. Really, I mean, I look back in this game and I have to say, I think everything was going for him, but what a throw he had. And I really think throw is the right word, because he had the advantages and he made a play which really just lost him the advantages that he had going for himself. Yeah, sure, his opponent was making, oh my god, again he hits a moving Overlord. This man's on fire. But again, he just gets into this sort of position where he was so far ahead and he just loses that advantage because he attacked too early. No one to blame but himself for that. It wasn't like Guru made a good defense. He did what he had to do in the defense, but it wasn't like Guru did something amazingly special with that. He just defended as you would kind of expect Guru to defend. He just put his units in position. He had the spines. He hit the transfusions. And it worked out. Spire's up. No Mutalist just yet. Stephano's started to add some Hydras into play, honestly. I mean, Hydras can be starting to be enough against Mutas. Depends how many Mutas show up at a time, right? +3 missile attack is now finished. Both of these players just sat on the 4th bases again. Hive coming up in the main base of Guru. So, I mean, I guess he just doesn't have the minerals to kind of suddenly just start up. And that's the issue, right? He only has 1 base of mineral income, so while he has the gas, he actually just can't start up 20 mutalisks at once because he misses the minerals. That's kind of something that doesn't happen a lot of the time. Does Guru have lurkers on the map? He has some, right? They just sat at home defensively, all 4 of them. Interesting. Not using them as he pushes forwards with these attacks. I'm just surprised he has so few lurkers overall. It's going to be seen a few Corrosive Bars coming down. The Hydras and the Roaches going to push to the left. Stephano's actually going to lose a 4th base, and he just isn't in a location where he can actually take that fight, it seems. Stephano sends some units across the counterattack. That's where the lurkers defensively are going to have a big way to play. Wow, Stephano's completely misreading this. He thinks there's another army coming through, but that was the entirety of Guru's army that he just let kind of wander into his base. He really thought he was going to get kind of multi-pronged here, but that's really... Well, it really was a mistake from him. And a couple of abducts, grab some Ravagers. I mean, that's the sort of trade Stephano needs right here over the next couple of minutes. Losing a base is painful for him because now he's really going to be hurting for economy. He needs another hatchery. Although, this is one of the less healthy bases, I suppose, so... He has his healthier base up. In terms of income, Stephano somehow is still mining more, but as Guru gets a 5th base, that will change. Stephano has to at the very least cancel this here right now. He's going to be seeing the Few corrosive piles coming down into play, and we are just going to see a couple of roaches taking some more hits. Hydras and roaches getting pushed away to the left-hand side as well, and we are just going to be having the army of Guru coming back again, just continuing to counter-attack around the map. It's this sort of stage of the game where Guru doesn't want to commit into a larger fight. Obviously, Stephano kind of doesn't. Stephano actually has a bank here. He's about to have +3 carapace, so remember that Stephano has better upgrades in all of these engagements. Guru has lurkers, but there's Vipers up to deal with the lurkers now. This fight's not going to go well at all. The Hydras put out a lot of damage, but again, I've said it a lot this game. They're fragile, and oh, Guru with a move command. That's painful. Abducts and Overseer. A couple of Blinding Clouds coming down as well. This works heavily in Stephano's favor. Suddenly, Guru's down 40 army supply, and he doesn't have minerals to play with. The Vipers will head back home. He's actually got a massive Vipers, Stephano. I wonder if it's almost too many Vipers. I guess that kind of seems a little bit ridiculous. He never killed off this central base, though, which means that Guru does now have that income lead coming his way. Stephano's maxed out for the moment, though, so right now, Stephano's kind of alright. He's going to find a group of Hydras on the left-hand side, and again, corrosive piles. Guru's a little bit late to pull back, so he loses a couple to that. A lot of move commanding here by Stephano. He's trying to move the rest of his army forwards. He will have the Abductee to get rid of these two lurkers. He kind of needs to bring the rest of his army towards this direction, maybe, because otherwise this army could have really kind of swung the kind of scales in his favor over here. Stephano, not sure what he wants to rebuild. He's also low on minerals, and now a 5th hatchery on the way for him on the right-hand side. You can start to see Guru takes a massive income lead with a new base to mine from. It's completely game-changing having a new set of mineral patches. Ravagers, Vipers. I wonder if the Vipers are going to be enough here for Stephano just to trade efficiently. I wonder if it's been worth him building this many of them. Corrosive blast coming down. No Viper abducts just there. This fight over here definitely goes Stephano's way. Just better numbers for himself as he splits up a little bit more one-sidedly down to the south side. Both of these players just keep splitting units up, sending them in different directions. They're both so drained of minerals. But that's really well. Oh my god, the corrosive piles! Could have landed on these Vipers then. That would have been huge. He has to be so careful of that. I mean, Stephano gets a new base up, right? So he has new mineral income possibilities. Needs to get these 8 workers that are oversaturated on this base over to that right-hand side. Oh, but Guru makes a move forward. Stephano has to defend. He cannot let this hatchery go down. It's so essential for him to keep this alive. Stephano, where is Vipers? They're all the way over here. So this army over here now is going to be a bit of a trouble to deal with. If he loses another mining hatchery, Stephano's just taking a couple of weird fights in the last few moments. It's giving Guru a bit of a momentum kind of swing. Stephano didn't even send these workers to actually work, and now he's going to lose this base. So now Stephano's kind of all in with this army. He has no more mining, only long distance mining. He doesn't even have the minerals to rebuild a hatchery. So Stephano has to long distance mine to get anything now. I wonder if he just overbuilt Vipers as well. Like, I mean, I can understand why. I would have thought that Guru would have made way more lurkers in this game, but he just didn't. Guru moves up to the high ground, a bunch of abducts. I mean, the abducts are cute, right? They'll swing things in Stephano's favor. They're definitely better trades. But Guru is just going to be able to trade so well overall. Corrosive Bile. Oh, wow. Hitting so nicely as well. I mean, again, Stephano's trading well, but the rest of the army, he still has to come and fight this. He still has an upgrade advantage, but look how much of his army's just sat here. And so much of his army's in Vipers. I mean, unit tab, 26 roaches of Guru against... I mean, actually, just the lack of roaches might mean that the Ravagers are just so vulnerable. Man, I mean, Stephano just has so much gas that obviously he's going to keep on morphing in Ravagers. Vipers again, their energy all over again. A ton of Ravagers here from Guru. 15 army supply ahead. Down a set of upgrades. Can Stephano make this happen? He's also got Vipers. 7 of them, which is really not going to help him in terms of a straight-up fight, I feel, a lot of the time. But slowly but surely he can pick away. But slowly but surely isn't what he needs. He needs right here and right now. The Viper should be a main... Oh, the Lurker should be a main target for the Viper abducts. Doesn't find them yet. Comes in for that one final one. You will get it now. Guru drops a little bit in army supply. Stephano's set to attack on both sides. So another Ravager, another Roach that's dragged in. But look at the production tab. Guru's production is just non-stop. Now the Vipers are out of energy, so they're not going to be able to do anything else in this fight. Stephano is on the ramp. He is choked up. He is not able to fight at all. And this is just absolutely crazy. I mean... 27 minutes in game. We're having some very long games in GO4SC2 today, but this one's definitely tilted in the favor of Guru. And Stephano, well, I don't know what to tell you guys. This is kind of a little bit crazy. You're going to see a couple of engines coming on forwards. You're going to be seeing these couple of engines getting taken down. Still some units on either side of this from Guru. And he just doesn't push forwards because he's afraid. I guess because over time he's winning these smaller fights. Another couple of Vipers. Stephano comes across the map and he's down to just, I mean, this isn't even really 2 bases, right? Like, it's not even worth calling them bases. Oh, the Vipers are going to run into the Hydralisks. That's painful. I mean, he comes in, he snipes a base. I mean, it's something you need to do a long time ago, honestly. I mean, this base has just been mine. The fact that this base lived was a massive turning point from Guru. And then obviously breaking through these bases here. I think Stephano had enough to fight at that point, but he really just messed up his positioning. And by messing up his position, it really made things difficult. As we're going to be seeing Stephano try and drop corrosive bars and blinding clouds to save himself. And now he really is taking some heavier and heavier losses. Guru is just going to have enough, and Stephano will tap out. He knows he can't win the fight anymore, which is why he leaves the game. GG. Guru, number 3 of this best of 5. We're tied up 1-1. Guru is like, it is best of 5. Oh my god. Did he miss his entire conversation earlier? We've had this conversation like 3 times throughout this series, like... What do you want me to say? Stephano doesn't want to take time to type because he has opened up with an aggressive gas pool. 13-12, so we are going to see a difference here, so we better get into the intros. To the bottom right hand side, the pink Zerg player is Stephano. Top left, the red Zerg is Guru. Hatchery comes down onto the natural, and we are going to be seeing a couple of overlords on the way through the map. Aim here for Stephano. If this aggressive opening is, as he stays beyond 100 gas mining, he's going to be able to start ling speed. He'll look towards a Baneling nest, and as the Baneling nest comes down, he obviously gets very aggressive with lings and banes early in the game. Guru plays very greedy. Hatch, gas, and pool with some drones in between the gas and the pool as well, so he really does set up in towards a position that's very hard for him to defend. And Guru, one of the big benefits of Catalyst is at least he'll get to the natural very quickly to see the lack of a hatchery. As we are going to be seeing him already seeing these first few lings. So he sees the few lings, he knows what's up, he doesn't know that it's a Baneling nest or ling speed yet. You know, for all he knows, this could just be a 12 pool because the timings are so similar with the ling timings, so... He doesn't know just yet. As we are going to be seeing the hatchery will start to take some damage here. Stephano will generally fight on the hatchery for a little while, try and force drones to pull down, defend, and that's when a couple of banes start to roll in, and the drones start to become, started being a lot more trouble. So let's see, Guru does have to pull drones because otherwise this hatchery just goes down for free, and then he's, then a queen doesn't come out, extra ling production can't start. As we are going to see the drones coming through, lings turn around to fight right away. Stephano wants to be careful because once he gets ling speed and the Banelings, the fight becomes so much better for him. Moving forward as the first Banelings arrive, and he's going to just... He doesn't actually take the connection with the Baneling for a while there, but now he hits ling speed, it becomes a lot easier. He's chasing down the drones. You might actually want to keep that Baneling for more Zerglings. I like that. He actually hits a lot of drones, which brings it low on health. Means the lings can get a lot more damage done a lot more quickly. And the lings now from Stephano surround the queen as well. He'll get the queen kill. Back away. He'll be able to morph in a couple more Banes if he wants to. Spine crawl on the high ground here from Guru. He's down 3 workers. Stephano still doesn't have an expansion. So we've seen a couple of lings. We'll be able to cancel one of those Banes. That's something, but that Baneling now coming up. Oh! The Banes are so close to so many of these Zerglings here as we're going to be seeing this queen. Again, dove onto once again. The spine crawler makes a difference though. It's actually not far enough forwards to actually defend the right hand side of the hatchery from Zerglings. That's a little bit of an annoyance. That Baneling's very good. It really kind of tilts the favor into Stephano's hands. Stephano starts up his own hatchery. 4 drones ahead. Guru even starts up another drone though, so he's not too scared. Stephano is continuing drone as well. One more Bane to try and apply a bit more pressure here. Let's see what's going to happen right now. As you're going to see these lings trying to come up to the top side, and we're just going to be seeing that Baneling is going to get poked down. These lings are committing onto the hatchery for a while, but Spinecrawler is going to be able to push the Lings away. Baneling again from Stephano continues to come in from the right-hand side here, just ready to push those Zerglings back. 2 more Banelings morphing in. Queen on the way up as well from Stephano right now. His hatchery about to finish, so he's going to come out of this, and they're both going to come out of this in very similar positions. And you're going to be seeing an evolution chamber here dropping from Stephano, but I mean 21, 19 workers. Hatcheries are both on the low ground. Guru's hatchery's kind of low, but I mean, it's got a Spinecrawler to defend it. One of the biggest differences is that Guru does have gas mining, and he hasn't used his gas, whereas Stephano does have Ling speed. And oh my god, with the Banelings as well, he's just going to dive in. Stephano is going to find himself a kill in the hatchery. He keeps the Banelings close to it to get the extra damage, and he's going to get out of there, even with one of his Banelings alive. Wow, Stephano. Oh no, wait, does that Baneling get hit by Brutons? That would have been sad. Stephano has just killed the hatchery of Guru with a follow-up attack that Guru just did not see coming. That's huge because that's 300 minerals, which have to be spent on the hatchery again. That's 300 minerals, that's a drone, that's so much lost mining time on the natural as well. You'll see he's oversaturated in the main if he puts all the drones onto the mineral line. So he long-distance mines instead. That's really awesome. Well, +1 melee on the way up from Stephano. He's going to play a Ling Bane style moving on from here rather than switching into roaches. Guru now asks if it's best of 5 again. I think Stephano's just given up. Given up in terms of replying. So, I mean, the interesting... And it's kind of funny as well, because I remember that... Stephano... Throws out the G-Lid chef of all things. I remember that Stephano had... I remember when Stephano played in Pro League and he said GLHF at the start of the game. And he got... and it was against Hero, and Hero had to say GLHF as well just before the game paused. Because Stephano was about to get disqualified from the match. Because he didn't know the rules were that you can't type anything other than GG, so... It was kind of silly. There was some crazy rules in the Pro League in the Casper days. I mean, it's kind of crazy how strict they were about so much. Well, Zergling coming down through the center. More Lings from Stephano. Going to be pushing up through the middle. I mean, again, he's about to get +1 melee, so he's going to have advantage when it comes to Ling fights. He's going to have the upgrades, which will just allow him to trade a lot better. And just in general, I mean... Because of losing this natural hatchery, you're just going to struggle to have enough here as Guru to defend. I mean, he's starting to set off a wall off, and that's going to be very important to be able to actually defend this, I think. But even still, is it going to be enough? As he runs on in, a Queen actually fills in the gap. He's going to have Banes. Banes can bust down one of these lower health Evo chambers. And if the Lings get in here, I mean, that might just be somewhat game ending, of course. Pushing forwards here, the Banes arrive. Stephano pulls back. There goes the Evo Chamber. There's the access into the base. Spinecrawler and Queens are going to have to transfuse each other up and keep themselves healthy as possible for as long as they can. It's not enough. There's too many Lings here, and as 10 roaches start, it's not going to happen. And Stephano will take game 3. He'll go up 2-1. It's not very common, but just the other day in our tournament, we actually had Youth Thermal, after losing game 1 with his Terran in the grand finals of an invitational event, went and changed to protests and took it to 5 games in the finals, although it did lose in the end. Scarlet is a better example. She has played multiple races at different times against certain races and certain matchups. The answer is not really, but it can happen, but not really. Is best of 5, says Guru. He knows now, considering running game number 4. Stephano. I don't know. The top left hand side of the map, down a game. Is our red Zerg player Guru? I mean, the chat just speaks for itself, honestly. The chat just speaks for itself. And to the bottom right hand side, our pink Zerg player from Gamer's Origin, Stephano. think about it. I don't even think Skirmishes was saying it's best of 5. Is it best of 5 anymore? I think you're saying it is best of 5. Like, oh, it's best of 5. I got my answer now. Thanks for not saying anything. Stephano's just like, think about it. Oh man. What didn't listen? What did Hero do? So when Stephano played Hero in Pro League, it was Stephano's first ever Pro League match. And when he went in game, he typed GLHF. And when you type GLHF, well, you're not allowed to type anything in Pro League matches apart from GG. So when he types GLHF, he's about to get disqualified. So the referee pauses the game, and Hero, realizing that Stephano's about to get disqualified, actually wants to play against Stephano because he's like a legend of the foreign scene. He wants to see if he can beat him. So Hero types GLHF as well, which meant that Stephano only got a warning. Because if they both typed GLHF, they couldn't just disqualify both players from the match, and they were more likely to just give a warning to both. Whereas, if Hero hadn't typed anything, Stephano's probably going to get an instant loss, because the Pro League rules were kind of insane. So, it was kind of a funny, it was a good, one of the kind of moments of StarCraft history, I guess. Some good memes. Some good memes. Alright guys, it's link speed on the way up from both players here as we get kicking off into this game number 4. 3 minutes in already, and we see the third hatchery is being taken by both. Slightly different third base positionings. I mean, we see the third hatchery from Guru coming down on the low ground. Stephano will stick to the high ground at least up here, as we are going to see a couple of banelings start to morph on in, and we're just going to be having the Rotoron dropping down. So Stephano is actually going to be going Ling Bane. Guru will play straight in towards the Rotoron right now. So straight into the Rotoron, getting set up, and yeah, I mean, just trying to skip past the Ling Bane phase. We'll see if Stephano punishes that all, or if he kind of realizes it, then maybe he can take advantage. As we are going to be seeing 8 drones on the way out, an evolution chamber as well for Stephano on its way up in the back of this natural, and we are just going to be seeing another couple of banelings on the way out. Man, I have to say, I miss the Pro League matches. Pro League matches were so hyped up. You know, just same time every week. Just, you know, you waited for the announcement of who would play who. You'd be like, oh my god, Innovation is playing against anybody. That's gonna be sick. Nah, it was really sick. I liked watching Pro League. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed watching Pro League until it was gone, honestly. Anyways, a lot of links from Guru. Obviously, he only needs more links to make up for the lack of banelings, although that's a sort of baneling hit that puts Stephano into a bit of an advantage already. A couple of roaches on the way out, but initially, if there's enough lings, those roaches might not be good enough. A lot more lings coming across the map. Stephano already turning up the aggression at the moment. As we are going to be seeing those queens gathering together on the low ground, and well, they're on the way up from Guru, but it's the faster +1 from Stephano that's just going to put him ahead in the roach game in the long term here. Stephano starts to dive on in. He's going to go for this. He's going to try and hit the banelings with the lings with the banelings. Banelings keep on moving forwards as well. They're going to go for some drones. I like it. A bit of a more kind of guaranteed way to get some damage dealt. Only one drone, a queen, a few lings. Stephano pushed back, but again, I mean, look at the advantages he has. He has the faster +1. And that's going to go a really long way for him here. As we see 14 drones about to pop out. And, well, in general, this is looking pretty good on either side at the moment. Evolution Chamber of Stephano starts up on the natural expansion, and we are going to be seeing these few Zerglings from Stephano just gathering up towards the top side. We're just going to be seeing Guru just gathering together, and again, some more lings just spreading themselves out at the moment, but Guru's going into such a fast Hydralisk Den. What the flip? What on earth is that meant to be? Hydralisk Den on the way down? That's just insane. Why on earth would he build a Hydralisk Den this early in the game? Super fast lurkers, maybe? Call me intrigued, because I want to know. Stephano goes into his carapace. He gets his own roach speed much later than Guru's roach speed, but it's the fact that +1 is ahead is the most important. You know, lack of roach speed just means you can't be aggressive for a while, but it's fine because it means you can start +2 faster. If you start +2 faster, then you can be aggressive with +2, and that upgrade advantage. So we are just going to be seeing this game continuing. What's up, Sparrow SC2 in the chat for Twitch, not Twitch Prime sub, with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for subscribing. Some love in the chat for Sparrow. Yeah, it's been a surprising amount of subs today. Didn't think today was going to be too crazy because of all the because of WCS going on. Memes and Dreams Invitational was live when we started, so thanks so much for all the love today, guys. And Maddie76 does come in for Twitch Prime sub as well. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Wait, you can't say good luck, have fun? You can't say it in... It used to be in StarCraft Pro League. The tournament doesn't run anymore. It was one of the most prestigious tournaments in Korea. And, no, you weren't allowed to say GLHF. You weren't allowed to say anything apart from GG. Anyways, +2 missiles on the way up here from both sides. We're going to be seeing the Burrow coming through. The Nubataz Carapace is on the way up from Stephano. It's just the super fast Hydras that are so interesting from Guru. But in fairness, he's going to get away with it without being punished for now. Stephano again plays this Roach Burrow style. Burrow coming up, Tunnel and Claws coming through. Very interesting way to kind of get going in all of this. A few more Roaches popping out and gathering together. As we are going to be seeing, well, a drone going to move towards the gold base. This is the benefit of having the low ground already. The fact that your next base can very naturally be the gold, because you're already kind of defending the low ground more so than setting up on the high ground like Stephano does over on this right-hand side of the map. So that's always a little bit intriguing, I feel, as we see pushing forwards. Roaches and Hydras are going to make a bit of a bid to try and take down this set of rocks. And obviously start up the aggression, pushing in towards the bases of Stephano. And Stephano just wants to defend for the moment. He's actually down quite a lot of army supply, about 20 or so. And that's because he's investing in towards the +2 Carapace. Guru hasn't made any Carapace upgrades. He's investing into Tunnel and Claws, Burrow. And yes, while Guru's had to make the Hydra Den, that's now benefited for him because he made it so early in this game. It's kind of crazy. Stephano needs to back away from that fight. On the high ground, he has the Roaches to counter those, so that's good for him. So about to get +2 missile attacks, and that really should put an end to this fight as well. Just having a missile attack upgrade advantage is going to be huge for Stephano in these engagements. Stephano's now looping around, so he's going to turn this into a bit of a surround after chasing down his opponent. Guru's actually going to break through the 4th hatchery, so Stephano will lose that. But if he cleans up the entire rest of this army, maybe he can make up for it just a little bit. Pushing forward, so you can see that Guru's trying to back away to some extent. But Stephano's reinforcements coming out right now. That is going to be a cleanup, and Stephano's actually going to take a hell of an army supply lead and chase him down. He's going to get a few Roaches as he goes. Killing a few Roaches as he goes. Now maybe has enough to keep on pushing with. Lurker Den on the way up, but the Lurkers obviously aren't going to be out in time, because even when the Lurker Den finishes, 20 seconds to morph Hydras into Lurkers, and Stephano, he plays this very safe. He's going to back away. He's going to start using the burrowed Roaches instead. I like it, but look at that. It looks as though Guru finds them. So Stephano pushed back for now. Morphs in some more Ravagers, going to try and hit towards this gold base. Does begin to re-expand on the low ground. As we see those Roaches and Hydras still trying to skirmish here and there, trying to get a little bit more action underway. So these Roaches and Ravagers are going to move up to the top, and they are going to maybe try and take down a base or so. Actually going to take some damage. Corrosive Vials dropping, and doesn't quite connect on too much just yet. Going to go back up towards the upper right. Hide kind of just in between the, well, not hide, but just kind of hide up the ramp, and I guess it does stop the Roaches and Hydras of Guru from pushing further up. Again, Roaches and Ravagers right now from Stephano trying to just skirmish as best he can. He's got +2 Carapace in his favor, but he's fighting into Concave, so it isn't amazing for him. He needs to stop a couple of his Roaches just reinforcing across here like this as you do see these rocks being taken down. Stephano's a little bit stuck up here. He did kill the 4th base of Guru, and you have to remember that this isn't the 4th base of Guru, this is, right? So Stephano gets a 4th base for a 4th base, and his 4th base comes up a lot faster. Although if Gurus does get back up here, of course, it's going to be a gold base, and that does help him quite a bit. Stephano's still trying to take some fights. Oh, Corrosive Vial hits one of his own Ravagers there at the front. Actually brings it very low, and it just about manages to survive now. Well, Roaches and Hydras get the Concave onto Stephano's army, but Stephano seems to feel like he can take the fight to some extent. Maybe just takes it for long enough to allow him time to back away. This year's if Stephano has to back all the way away, it gives Guru a long time where he can suddenly hit in here and get something done. Counterattack across the map though, and drones are going down. Roaches suddenly popping up out of nowhere. That Burrow and Tunneling Claws finally found its moment, as we are going to be seeing 13 drones going down. That's a big play. Stephano loses the 4th base again, but he'll kill a lot of units in the process as Hydras get chased away back to the top side of the map, and maybe he can even counter in to kill the gold base of Guru once again. Roaches and Rabbits continue to come up to the top side, and we're just going to see those Corrosive Vials coming down once more, and we do see the roaches starting to target down one of the gold bases here. Another couple of corrosive bars coming down into play, and Stephano not going to wrap this up just yet. But he definitely has the potential to. That poor Ravager's stuck on the changelings. Roaches burrow. Not always to be aggressive, just because you do heal a little bit faster while underground like that. Oh my god. That set of corrosive bars looked like something from like Co-op or something. It's like, bursts of fire will appear around your army at any moment. Those corrosive bars is a deadly line. Destroy that overlord. Power of rapid fire corrosive vials. Stephano goes over maxing out. He must have built some spore crawlers. There you can see the remnants of it. Built some spores or spines. Built the extra roaches and then cancelled the spores so you can go beyond 200 supply here. It's like an extractor trick en masse in the late game. Snoot used to love doing this but hasn't done it in a very long time. Doesn't seem to think it's worth it anymore. Stephano says yes it is. And now pushing forwards, roaches and ravagers coming in. The corrosive bars just give you so much utility here as the pink Zerg player Stephano. It just forces, look at how many corrosive bars come down. Time and time again, you just cannot push in here as Guru into that. It's just impossible. Corrosive bars again in a bit of a line here. Stephano just placing them down one or two at a time. Seeing what else might happen. And we're just going to be seeing again a few more corrosive bars popping up from each of these players. Roaches and Ravagers from Stephano back to the right hand side here. And we are going to be isn't it insane how fast he fires those? That's what rapid fire does. I'm going to put his APM on. Watch his APM when he fires corrosive bars. It's probably going to spike like crazy. Rapid fire does some crazy things. It basically means you don't have to click. You just hold down the corrosive bar button and they'll just fire wherever your mouse is at the time. You can see it spikes up to like 800 APM. And uses it. Same again there. Ah, no. I lost the button. Oh, my APM tab doesn't work anymore. RIP. Feels bad, man. Look at that average APM. So much higher for Stephano than Guru. That's actually an important fight, though. Stephano takes a good fight there right away. And now we do see Guru, though, with a little bit of a counter-attack in the right-hand side. By the way, at the same time, Stephano has more counter-attacks going on over here. He's going to kill the Roach Roaring. Means that only Hydras can be produced for a while. I mean, Guru, if he kills the 5th base, that's cute and all, but he doesn't even get that. And he is only going to be on 4 bases apiece anyways, even if he kills the 5th, right? Because he doesn't have the 5th of his own. Stephano with the Roach Roaring Snipe now forces pure Hydra production. Is that going to be able to be something that can save Guru here? I'm not sure if it is. Another Overlord down to the south side. Roaches, Hydras, moving on around, and we do see Stephano still has a Carapace upgrade lead as well throughout the entirety of this game, by the way. He took the Carapace upgrades way earlier on, and now they're really paying off for him. Now they're actually coming through. They've been part of so many of these fights. Look at the resources loss difference. 4,500 in favor of Stephano. Again, I mean, Guru just doesn't want to commit into corrosive bars, and can you blame him? Not really. Roaches on the high ground, getting rid of some more of the Guru economy. And this is going to be a burrow here to try and escape with some of them. A few roaches have led the charge up here. Stephano maybe realizing he can potentially push in, because Guru is going to be backed into a corner, so he's actually going to have to dive in towards the corrosive vials, but the corrosive vials, there's a second wave of them. Although now only Ravages here. Looks as though Stephano doesn't think he can fight that. 23 roaches in production. He'll need to wait for those until this continues. Man, Stephano's ZvZ today has been beast mode. He really should have been able to win game 2 as well, I think, but I think he was really just... He was ahead and he made a mistake. And then the game got very close and very weird. It was one of the weirdest ZvZs I've seen in a long time. Stephano will lose his 5th base as he starts up some spines to help him keep on defending. He's got so much money in the bank, but he needs to start spending it right now. I mean, he needs to start remaxing ASAP here. Can he hold on to this fight, Stephano? He's taking fights in a couple different directions. Crosser bars down one of his own spine crawlers there. Pushing Hydras away up top. He's going to lose the low ground base. Stephano across the map, though, he's done so much economic damage that that might not matter. Oh, man. Well, Stephano definitely still has the numbers advantages. Guru's actually going to try and push up the ramp here. I don't know if I like Guru trying to push up the ramp. Is it going to be enough for him? Stephano, the lack of bases might just hurt him in terms of... By the way, Stephano has this base as well. I didn't even realize that, but that is an extra base that Guru doesn't have as well. So I've been saying 5 bases. I guess it's true. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it was about right. Oh, did Guru just never have this base? But that's 4 base. Yeah, but that is 5th base. Yeah, I did know this base was here. God, for a moment I thought I was wrong, but... Anyways, we're going to be seeing Guru backs away. Stephano has the rebuild, though, and he has the +3/+3 coming through. And even though he's been taken down on bases for the moment, he definitely has the army now to maybe end this in the near future. Hydra's around the top, and we are going to be seeing just what happens next. Roaches and Ravagers going to be coming forwards, and well, a few more roaches just burrowed up to the top side. I like the idea of just still harassing, but at this stage all he really needs to do is force a fight. Ooh, there is a single lurker here, and that's going to get corrosive bar down. That's not going to last very long. Gets a couple of shots off. Another lurker on the right hand side. Roachron's only just finished rebuilding from Guru, so he's on pure Hydras basically. As the gold base economy gets shattered, Roach is able to do what he can. I just love the way Stephano's corrosive bars drop. They're almost mesmerizing. They are almost mesmerizing. Well, yeah, it's back down towards the bottom right, and we are going to be seeing Stephano. Oh, this time he misses the Overlord. Kind of fun to watch. I love watching these corrosive bars. They're so exciting to see what's happening. It's very fun. Well, I'm just going to be seeing the roaches continue to move around the right, and we are going to be having Stephano just playing a longer game than maybe... I mean, I guess I say a longer game than necessary, but he is just playing it safely, right? You know, it's a similar scenario to the game before, but this time he has, you know, a bit of a better setup for himself. He has his own bases staying alive. He has his own income looking good still. He's got the upgrade lead much more significantly. He's got a much more reasonable number of Vipers, I feel, although those roaches are going to get caught. That small attack didn't pay off for him. I think just some roaches here would be good, right? Just to get in front of the Ravagers, just to actually do some of the tanking here along the way. I think that'd be really good for him. I think it's going to have to turn away from that hatchery. A couple of changes getting cleaned up here, and again, I'm just going to be seeing Hydras and Roaches of Guru to the center. A lot of them all over the place at the moment, as we do see these few Roaches. Stephano going to back away off to the left-hand side. Hydra's actually going to be able to pick off this Overlord, so Overlord gets sniped down. We are going to be seeing these Hydras be able to push forwards and get another couple of kills. I mean, Stephano actually has to rebuild Overlords right now. It's kind of an annoyance. It's not something he wants to be doing. Remember that Stephano has the upgrade lead, and that upgrade lead is actually huge for him. Makes any sort of a fight just so much beneficial to him over Guru. Although, I feel like this fight was actually Guru favored if he turned to fight it. Not enough units really there from Stephano pulling ahead of the rest. A few more corrosive bars going down. Hydra's back up to the high ground here from Guru. Big spread out of Guru. Maybe just looking to kind of jump on this army once and for all. Drones pull away from mine on the low ground. Guru's actually maxing out, guys. He's 20 army supply ahead. Let's see if it's going to work out for him. There is going to be Vipers, which can be used to kind of blind cloud. Stephano's putting himself into such a weird position to fight this in. He's going to go up the ramp. He's completely terrified to actually fight this army. With the upgrade lead and everything else, the corrosive bars now are actually really coming into play. Stephano. I mean, this is really Stephano just letting Guru just shut him down. I mean, what was the need for Stephano to sit back so much? And obviously, again, I'm saying this as a very biased observer who gets to see everything, who gets to know exactly what's going on, but I mean, you look at the way the game's gone, and Stephano was in control. He was killing off armies. He was on this side of the map with like a 30-40 army supply advantage against pure Hydras and like 1 or 2 lurkers. And he just pulls back home to build a couple of Vipers that are just not needed. And which are hurting him more than anything, because now he's got a bunch of Vipers that he's made that are not really pulling their weight in the fights. 21 minutes in, and it feels like we're heading towards a similar scenario as what we had in game number 2, which is the last game that Guru won. Wow, we're having quite the lengthy finals here today. We're 5.5 hours into this event. Usually this is like, you know, usually GO4SC2 lasts 3 to 4 hours. 5.5 hours in, and at this rate I think we're here seeing a game number 5, because Stephano is refusing to expand. Is his army just that much worse? I feel like no, before it wasn't. Look at this, all this time, 5 minutes ago, Stephano has a huge advantage and he just does nothing with it and he just sits here. Let's Guru back in the game. This fight definitely didn't go well. I mean, we knew that. He pulled up a ramp. When so many of the units are up on the high ground anyway, I think if you just push forwards into that and aggressively blinding Cloud, I think you just take the win. Because you know, Guru's missing 15, 20 supply up here. You can concave it out down here. It's mostly Hydras. Obviously the game's changed a lot since then. You can see Guru's got the income lead. And now Guru adds 8 lurkers into play. Stephano adds 8 lurkers into play. Oh my god. Well, I didn't even realize Stephano was making lurkers. Well, that maybe changes things, because now maybe he can hold a base. Because Guru doesn't have an answer to lurkers of his own. That's actually a pretty important feature, right? That Guru doesn't have an answer to lurkers himself. Stephano does have an answer to lurker in the form of Vipers. So these lurkers could definitely do a lot here. Lurkers are going to start firing, and oh my god, I mean, this army of Guru is just wandering in initially. Takes a few shots for free, abducts on the high ground, going to get a few free kills. I mean, that's the sort of thing that Stephano needs right now if he's going to win this game from the position he put himself into. So army gathers back together in the center. 23 minutes into game number 4, guys. If Stephano can win this, he takes the tournament. If he doesn't, we go to a game 5. Ravages and lurkers continuing forwards. But I think the lurkers are just too powerful. That said, Stephano doesn't have any map presence anymore, so Guru is actually getting himself up into a really strong position. Because Guru is continuing to expand, Guru's continuing to take bases, rebuild drones even. So Guru's economy is coming back online. And that means even as Stephano establishes a new base, Guru's extra bases are going to make up for that and continue to keep him in the advantage. Guru with a massive concave here. Doesn't want to commit into those lurkers too quickly. A few lurkers moving forward. Is Stephano going to get aggressive? What's the plan here for Stephano? It looks like he wants to get aggressive. He leaves a few lurkers behind. Well, here we go. Pulls a few units forwards. A few lurkers again. We're holding the front lines there. Pulls back one of the damaged lurkers. Army supply is now even again, but it's Guru who has the timing window to, or the time to just sit back and defend because he has so many more bases. On top of this, I have to also say though that Guru also is down on upgrades, and that's what this hive is going to be so important for. On top of maybe the potential Vipers, Stephano has to cancel that instantly. Can't afford to lose 300 minerals for free here. Needs to at least get some of them back if this base is going to go down. We're running around the left-hand side again. If Stephano can just find fights where he outnumbers his opponent, outpositions his opponent, gets a few Ravager pickoffs like this, that's very powerful. Now he's got himself a lurker wall, which actually reaches across the bottom side of the map, so he's going to get himself access to a gold base of which for Guru has mined out. Well, Guru has this base up, he has this base up in advantage. But Stephano's getting more bases on the map again. Vipers come in with some cool abducts, helping out a lot. And again, over the last few moments, suddenly Stephano's fighting right back into this. So Stephano's playing it as he needs to win it out. After the position he kind of put himself in again. What a game, what a series. These guys are playing some really weird ZvZs. Like I was saying this earlier, but I don't know when the last time I saw ZvZs like this kind of, you know, actually look like this, I suppose. It's kind of insane. Burrowed Roach is going to pop up on this other side of the map. First time in a long time Stephano's gone aggressive. He'll just target down the Hydras and probably back away a bit further. Pulls a lot of Guru's army back, although some of Guru's going to actually try and still push on forwards here. A couple of Banes come into play. I don't know why he's adding Banes on. Maybe because he feels like Banes against all the Ravagers and Hydras that were here before were useful. Actually might not have been a terrible idea. One lone lurker in the middle of the map is going to get found, but actually isn't going to have detection to kill it. So, Stephano making a move up the map. Well, he puts himself in an aggressive position where he'll be able to kill off a base at least. A lurker, 2 lurkers scare Guru away. The Guru doesn't have to have detection. He could make this a very big concave. The blinding clouds. I got there in the end. The blinding clouds are important, but Stephano just gone himself too far forwards. Is the surround too much from Guru? I think it may very well have been. Surrounded in there, the lurkers don't get as much splash damage done, and Stephano moving across the map, punished for it. As we're going to be seeing these roaches splitting away, going in towards a couple of different mineral lines. More units coming down to the south side from Guru to try and clean up here. A couple of lurkers in position, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. One lurker goes down, the second lurker goes down. This game looks as though it's going to be a little bit over. Man, I really question Stephano's way of playing the later game ZvZ, and, you know, obviously I don't like questioning the way Stephano plays, because he's a much better player than I, and I'm sure what he cast GO4SC2 for like 6 hours straight, because, you know, we don't have competition of other events and stuff. It's cool. Today it's like, oh, WCS is on. I kind of want to go watch WCS. I thought I'd cast GO4 anyways. And now GO4SC2 goes on forever. Like, oh my god. I sound like I'm complaining, but I'm having a pretty good time. It's just a little bit amusing, as we do see here. Going into Eastwatch, map number 5 to the bottom left-hand side. Our blue Zerg is Guru. And he's going up against the pink Zerg player to the top right-hand side of the map, Stephano from Gamer's Origin. Alright then, it's game 5. This is what the entire day has come down to for the last 6 hours. We've been playing here in GO4SC2. And it's been a pretty lengthy set of matches to get us to this final map of the Grand Finals. A 40-minute game between Stephano and Showtime earlier. Part of the reasoning for this. And 2 very long games so far in the ZvZ finals as well. 2 20-minute plus games have taken place. Really making this a very lengthy affair. Overlord from Stephano is about to pop out. Very exciting commentary, I know. Here on Eastwatch, well, things to watch out for is maybe this gold base, and if one of these players can get it up and the other can't, then it can really be the game changer. As we're going to be seeing Ling speed on the way from both. Few Lings on the way up from Stephano. He's going to be the aggressor slightly earlier in this game. Goes up to 6 Lings rather than 2, so Guru will take a small drone advantage, but let's see if Stephano can get something done with his couple of extra Zerglings in these early stages. So Guru will see all 6. Means he can set up a couple of defensive Lings for himself, or just rely on the Queens if he feels like that will be enough for him. Lings coming around the left-hand side of the map here, and we are just going to be seeing the couple of Queens of Guru just on the way out. As we do have, again, Ling speed on the way up from both players, Overlord coming through. We just got ourselves set up and ready to go into this series and go into this game 5, wrap up the series. Just waiting for the moves. Third hat-trick from Stephano. Guru? No third hatch just yet, has generally been playing in towards Roaches. What does terrify me a little bit is the potential for how long a game this could be. I mean, this game could be so long, right? Like, it's one of those maps where you can take a lot of bases. It's very difficult to attack through certain chokes. I can see this, with the way these guys are playing each other, I can see this going quite a while. So strap in, and let's see what happens. Although Stephano's been very aggressive. Bayonet's about to finish. A lot of Lings being made for Stephano. And he does have the third hatchery already compared to Guru, who makes a lot of Lings himself, but on a much higher drone count. A couple of Banes morphing. He's actually going to maybe find those Banes morphing in. Guru has a good idea of what's going on right now. He doesn't know how close those Banes are to finishing those. He's very cautious. I think Guru might actually have a cancel on the third hatch here. Stephano might want to morph in some defensive Banes. Hasn't done so just yet. Maybe he's just going to gather his Lings together. Doesn't want to lose the momentum by morphing in Banes back at home. And he has 3 Banes on this side of the map. He's actually going to come in for a little bit of a flank. If he can grab this army, that would be amazing. Stephano kills off a good chunk of those Lings already. And continue to move on down to the bottom left-hand side. We have got a lot of Zerglings here from Stephano that are going to look to try and push on through and to try and maybe just win this game here and now. He checks the gold base. It's not going to be there, so he sees himself a base up at the very least. But he's 10, 11 drones down. So it becomes so important for him to get some sort of damage done in terms of economic damage right now, because if he doesn't, he falls very far behind. Guru, who has 1 energy away from a transfuse here. He's now blocking with Lings, which means that the other Lings will be able to come on through with the help of Banelings. Banes go to the mineral line. That's the damage that Stephano needs potentially. Starting to come on through. 4 drones down. How much more is there? His Ling count's dwindling, though. There's a couple of low health workers at the end of this. Stephano, 22 more Lings in production. He's going to try and dive in again, but the Queens, I guess, are low on energy. And if he injects with this Queen, he's actually going to have no transfuse energy at all. Roaches can start a build. Guru's starting to re-drone. I mean, so is Stephano, to be fair. He's on 3 bases against 2. He just killed a bunch of workers. Well, coming up this round, that first Queen's very low, and it's going to start going down. The Lings get a bit of a better surround. Next Queen in some trouble. Guru didn't make units right away because he decided to prioritize workers. That's starting to cost him a little bit. More Lings coming in. The Roaches are about to be here, but is it just game-ending damage already? Here's me cursing this game, apparently, by saying expected to potentially go long. But in reality, Stephano does not make it last very long at all. He comes on in. We're going to be seeing these couple of drones going down, and I mean, 17 workers killed. Guru will Pause. Oh, Stephano gets the GG in before Guru leaves.